stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I decided not to share this one out too far, just because. Let's go with orange for Broncos. Yeah, for the Bronco win. I'll do that. Yay. That was a fun game. A horrible game. It wasn't great football, but Arizona was okay today. Awesome. Good stuff. Oh. Oh, yep, it worked. That's all she wanted. It's one of my dog was bugging me. I just had to put a bed down for her. So she's old, and I try and spoil her. Yeah, I hear you, Ingrid. You know, I call it spreading the wealth. You know, I don't hang in one meeting for more than a year. There's so much more to discover. There's other people to hear. And sometimes I feel like when I go to a meeting and it's the same people, I'm just regurgitating what I'm saying and I'm not really doing much. So yeah, sometimes our intuition will tell us, hey, let's discover some new things, right? See, when you have things like PTSD, anxiety, or other things, we'll just stick with that. You tend to search more. We tend to look for more things. We are people that understand that if I'm too comfortable, then I'm not growing, and really growth is what maintains me. Okay, if I'm not learning new things, I'm not growing. Yeah, see, yeah, I get what you. And I want to group with another woman. There you go. Yeah, I hear you. I really do. We're looking for a place to belong and be able to share our experience, strength, and hope. And we do that by going out and discover. And when we do that and we put action into it, God will put those people in your life. He'll put the right people in your life. So, good stuff. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm going to be your host. You ain't got no choice. Yeah. I got stalkers. If you're here, please say hello. I think what's going on with that person is they have other things going on and they are looking for somebody. They have not grown up emotionally. And we'll just stick with that. They haven't grown up emotionally. And I can see it because I was there. You know what I mean? Utilizing other people to make me feel better. Yeah, huh? Right. So, there is no such thing as competition in recovery. So why in the heck do people, treatment centers and sober livings and everybody else, why do they have the need to make sure they're at the top of Google or that they're put all over the internet or things like that? Why? Because it's competition. It's competition. And we cannot have that. We cannot have that in recovery. There is no competition. Let me kind of explain. I'm also looking for something here. There it is. I'm going to tell you how much I have paid for my recovery. Nothing. I have put $0. Okay. Now, I'm not counting putting money in the basket. I'm not counting that. Okay. That's a part of what we do. Okay. But I haven't spent any fucking money. because recovery is free. Okay. Sober living is a place where other people are sober. It doesn't really constitute it as recovery. It is sober living, or wouldn't it be called recovery living? No, because then it just confused people. Right? But we even have groups that will compete against each other for however many people are there, blah blah blah. Okay. We even have one guy, he's in the 3 o'clock and he's always like, we can have up to 100 people here. We should push it and push it. No, God's going to decide. God's going to decide that. Okay. And do we have enough room for 100 people? Sure. But look at me here. I mean, there's a couple people listening to me and that's about it. When we start to push things, it becomes different. Okay. Now, here's the problem. Okay, competition can be healthy, but not in this situation. We're supposed to band together. See, when it comes to, let's say, I'm going to step into my recovery coach or peer support specialist role there. Okay. Let's say I'm meeting with somebody. Okay. But I don't feel like they are a good fit for me. I'm going to refer them out. I'm going to refer them to somebody else because it isn't about whether or not they're going to be my client. The decision is being made is what is the best route for them? What's the best route for them? Maybe they don't want to go to AA. Maybe they tried AA, something happened. Okay, we've got other routes to go. That's okay. Okay, this is individualized. See, we're talking about God here, and there's no competition. It doesn't exist. Whenever we bring competition into recovery, what we get is division. What we get is the battleground over other people. Because what is it that we're dealing with in recovery? We're dealing with people and their whole family. Okay. And for some people, what they see is dollar signs. Each person is worth a certain amount of money. And if they get enough people in there, then they will get paid the appropriate amount that they think that they can get. Right? Throughout the big book, it tells us that we've had problems with power. It tells us that we've had problems with power. It even says that lack of power, that was our dilemma, right? So why are you not bringing God into your clinical little areas? Oh, it doesn't belong. Bullshit. Bullshit. And that's where I call bullshit. Okay. It used to be you go to a treatment and they would tell you what kind of treatment they were. We're 12-step based. We are religious based. We are non-denomination based. That's how it works. Why? Because each person is different and individuality means something here. But when we are lumped together and put together with numbers, that's when it becomes different. That's when it becomes different. I'm going to read something out of the 12 by 12. And I read this line years ago, and it has just stuck with me. We've also seen men and women go power mad. Okay. I watched a bunch of recovered, notice I'm using quotations, recovered alcoholics that argued over who was going to have a certain county. Oh, you don't live there. You shouldn't be a part of it. Seriously, arguing, friendships ending, things destroyed because of people, because of money, because we have also seen men and women go power mad. Lack of power. That is our dilemma. Who devote themselves to attempting to rule their fellows. Okay, this is step 4 stuff. What are they talking about? They're talking about the bullshit that goes on. This mostly comes in recovery coaches and RCOs now. Stay away from RCOs. They're no good. They're no good. Recovery Center Organization. That's what it stands for. Yes, Scott, it is. It's all ego and it's all money. Well, recovery is free, right? These people often throw to the winds every chance for legitimate security and a happy family life. Okay, so what they do instead is they will use positivity. Well, you're not being positive. And they tend to think that positivity is the answer to almost everything. Good afternoon. Right? No. So here it comes. Whenever a human being becomes a battleground for instincts, there can be no peace. And there it is. These people are battling over their instincts. Okay. They're the same people that will do something to you and say, you'll thank me later. They're the same people that decide whether or not other people are willing. I don't get to decide that. You don't get to decide that. That's between them and God, man. I don't determine your willingness. And I'm not going to I'm not even going to try and determine whether you're willing or not. Well, that person's not willing, so I'm not going to work with them. Now, that's kind of like saying that person's toxic. That's just name calling. Toxic, calling other people toxic is just name calling. Okay? There is nothing in the DSM 4 or 5 that talks about toxic people. Okay? It's just another name. It's just like Karen I think that's rude as fuck. I don't call anybody a Karen unless their name is Karen. Using somebody else's name or something else and tagging that is always name calling. It isn't anything else. So quit calling people names. Maybe they're not the toxic one. Maybe you are. So what does that bring us back to? It brings us back to rigorous honesty. What are we really trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? Okay. So whenever there's competition, get out. Get out. You're going to see, where are you going to see this mostly? Where are you going to see it mostly in AA, the group conscience. That's where you're going to see it. That's where egos fly all over the place because they want it the way that they want it. But what they're not doing, I'll say, well, what about tradition, da, da, da. And they'll be like, huh? The traditions? Yeah, the fucking traditions, man. Right? Like there's a guy right now, they're trying to decide whether they're going to let him back in. That's one reason why I left, right? To a Zoom meeting. He abused his co-hosting stuff, okay? He was just a young kid trying to do what was right. It was being reactive. That's the way I see it. Did it hurt some people? Yes, it did. But I feel like these people got a little offended. Then they want to have an emergency group conscious to see if they can let this person back in. No, just let them fucking in the room. You don't get to decide that. You don't get to decide that. I don't get to decide that. It was a wrong move. And I was a part of it, and it was a wrong move on my part. And I'm admitting it. Okay. Zoom is kind of new, man. Zoom is still new. But what I'm noticing is these clubs are taking advantage of these Zoom meetings. Okay. York Street is taking advantage of the 3 p.m. meeting. They do nothing to support that meeting, but yet we give them hundreds of dollars every single month. For what? For what? That money could be going somewhere else, helping other people. Honestly, I'd rather that money went to helping out the homeless. It's our money. We get to decide what we do with our prudent reserves. As long as we're giving our percentages to the right people first, right? So anyway, what is it about? It's about power and control. That's it. Anytime power control comes in with alcoholics, bad shit happens if you do not couple with that humility. And I'll know if you're being humble. Okay. I help a lot of people a day. I don't go on Facebook and say, I just helped this one person today, and gosh, we're so grateful about it. No, no. They'll brag. They'll brag. Okay. You'll go to meetings, you'll hear them. Well, my clients, I love it when managers from sober living. Oh man, my guys, my clients. No, they're not your clients. You are a manager. You are not clinical. Okay. Your job is to manage, not tell people what to do. Okay. So when you got somebody who's got 3-4 months, some guy, some young buck that's got, this kid's going to go out of fucking control because he's never been in that position before. And if you don't educate yourself, like take a leadership class, for God's sakes, take an hour and do a leadership class. Okay. Leaders don't tell people what to do. Leaders do things by example. Right. And if they ain't doing it, if you're a leader and you tell somebody else what to do and you're not doing it, you're not a leader. Okay. That's not how that works. You got to get the experience under your belt. So, all right. I got to go buy some ice. Usually my wife does it. So I don't even know where to go. I'm sure I can find some ice in a mile radius. So. There you go, on done this. You're my constant for the moment. That's not in person, one day a week. So I really appreciate your friendship. Absolutely. You also have a fantastic afternoon. And we will see you all tomorrow. Unless, of course, I go live again. 5:30, big book study today. Try and join us if you can. It's good stuff. Yeah, I hate the grocery store. But you're right. I'll probably just go to Sinclair over here. And then they'll be like, we're out of ice. So you want to know the best places to go for ice? Liquor stores. They always have ice, and it's the good kind. It's the kind. Yeah. Anyway, I love you all. Peace out and have a day.